This entire project is aimed towards breaking ground in 2 years on a new community and then slowly building that community up to be more and more independent until finally it someday allows us to form a new country, a sovereign nation with its own type of government where we can really experiment with government and benefit the people that live there, just like the early United States experimented with government and really benefited. The first step I am calling the academy. And so this is a college alternative or job training program. Right now, obviously, college is very expensive and not super beneficial. And a lot of times they're just being brainwashed into socialism. Something's got to replace college. First of all, for the actual skills that you're supposed to learn in college to go out into the real world and be able to make money, produce something, create in the world. And second of all, the social atmosphere. But it's not just an alternative to college, it is still a self-sufficient community. Move what you need, those necessities, a little bit closer to home. So when you talk about gaining relative self-sufficiency, we're talking about food production and energy production. These are the most basic things that you need, and if you can bring those closer to home, then it's not going to be so dire if supply chains break down. Self-sufficiency is going to appeal to the people that we're trying to attract. And what you have with a young crowd is people willing to move and willing to take a little leap of faith, follow a little bit of an adventure, and populate this new community to get it off the ground. Because it's going to be a lot easier to get single 18 to 25-year-olds to move and try something new than it is to get a family to sell a house, uproot their kids, and move to this strange new community. On a new campus, we're going to have to build it. So some of the first students are going to be people who were interested in perhaps building a tiny home and haven't gotten around to it themselves, don't have the money to put into it, or don't have the expertise. They can learn the skills that they're interested in while helping us build the campus. Maybe it's gardening and growing your own food. Again, they don't have to be an expert in it. They just have to be willing to learn, and we're going to get experts to lead these projects and train them. We're going to build interest in this by producing media. So this is essentially going to be marketed as an internet-based reality TV show. Anybody, the first students, the first mentors, everybody's got to be comfortable on camera because we're showing the world what we're doing. We're showing the world how to produce a lot of your own food on a small amount of property, or relatively small at least. How to become self-sufficient, how to rig up the solar panels, how to create a battery out of a lake where you release the water through a hydro collection system and you pump it up there when you have extra electricity. That's an example of one of these cool projects that we could showcase on this property. It's going to be something people want to watch, and that's going to be one of the main strategies at the beginning, is letting people watch what we're doing. And that's basically it, showing the prototype of a functioning microcosm of society. So if we can get all these people down there, get it relatively self-sufficient, it doesn't have to be perfect, but a lot of its own food, a lot of its own energy, and you get these people making leaps and bounds in their education without a formal education, and see what they can do, see what they can produce, the businesses they can make. So let's talk about action steps for the academy. The first step is to purchase land. And this is something that I'm working on 2 years from September of 2022, which is when I really started this whole project, is when I want to break ground on that first land. We want to locate in a place that's already pretty good, obviously. That's what we're really looking for at this point, is land that is going to be unrestricted, that we can build on, that we can grow on, that we can house people on, and nobody's going to hassle us over that. Also, the idea based on the pay structure is that people won't really owe that many taxes in the first place. So we're talking about students here. Now, I mentioned that we're not going to depend on the students to fund this. And it's actually a little bit of the opposite. We're going to be depending on the students to do some work on this, and that's part of the process of learning, but they're actually going to get paid, at very least in room and board. The same thing goes for mentors. The more experience, the more expertise they have, the higher we're going to have to pay them. But the idea should be that since a lot of the pay is already tied up in the room and board, you won't have to pay as much in dollars or crypto, and that means that the taxable income should be lower. Purchase land, hire mentors. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The mentors are going to be the people that are teaching the students. So they already have to have some expertise. When we're first starting this project, the main things that we're going to be working on is building structures to live in for students and mentors to live in, and investing in agriculture. So we need experts that already know how to do that, that can lead these projects. And then we can recruit the first students who each want to be involved in projects under the direction of the mentors. So at the beginning, I imagined 4 main mentors: the head chef, the head farmer, the head builder, and the head technology person, because those are the first students that we're going to be recruiting. People who are interested in growing vegetables or farming or permaculture or whatever. People who are interested in building tiny homes, infrastructure, that sort of thing. People who are interested in food prep and sort of household economics, or really basically running a hotel. We're going to need the people that are filming this and creating the media for it. That's why we have the 4 mentors, the 4 types of students that we'll first be recruiting. Right from the get-go, you benefit from that efficiency if people don't have to do all of those normal chores themselves. So you split it up, give everybody their area of expertise that they're going to be working in. So we start the media production. And then, so after we get this established, after we have some food production going, after we have some housing built, that's when we can recruit students and mentors with more varied interests and expertise, moving beyond those 4 main categories and choosing people based on projects that they want to do. And this is where we start incubating those students' businesses. So the second batch of students that we're accepting all have an idea for a business, or at least a project that they're working on, and learn from the mentors that we have how to make something like that a success, how to run it like a business, how to make it profitable.